Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Starting 11 show. Chelsea versus Everton at Stamford Bridge. And we're going to have some enforced changes in this week's team. Doesn't happen. Well, it hasn't happened that much recently, but it's going to happen this week in the back line. Obviously, starting in goal, Jordan Pickford. Let's move on to the defence, where this is going to get a little bit interesting this week. James Tarkowski has been ruled out for the rest of the season. He's going to have an operation on the hamstring, so it's obviously a pretty bad one. David Moyes confirming he mightn't even be back for the start of pre-season, which is disappointing. And, you know, obviously a player getting to a stage in his career where he doesn't want to start getting those kind of injuries or having those kind of operations, especially a player who generally doesn't have injuries. So obviously very disappointing for him and the team. But at least Everton don't have to worry about winning points as such to stay away from the relegation zone. That's done and dusted. So we can now start looking at players if that's what the manager wants, and that's certainly what I'm going to do. So at right back, I'm bringing in Nathan Patterson. I think for him, it's about time to see whether he does have a future at this club. There's 5 games left. And for me, no matter what, he has to play all of those 5 games. You know, some of them are tough. Some of them, obviously, the home games will be better suited for him. But I think he has to play every game. So we can make a decision on his future, whether we need to bring in another starting right back for next season, with obviously Seamus Coleman, Ashley Young coming to the end of their contracts. And obviously, Jake Brien isn't a right back, and you'll want to start seeing him more in a natural position. So for me, he starts at right back. At left back, Vitaly Mykolenko obviously starts. No issues there. He's been really good of late, and he'll need to be good against Chelsea because their wingers are obviously pacey. But he's done very, very well against those kind of wingers this season, so he starts at left back. The centre backs, Jake O'Brien and Jared Brantwaite. Now, obviously, we haven't seen Jake O'Brien in the Premier League play centre-back. We've seen him I think, in the Carabao Cup. So it's obviously an opportunity now for him as well, the last 5 games, to see whether he's suited. I thought David Moyes made a mistake last week when he didn't move him to centre-back, and he obviously brought Michael Keane on. Michael Keane's leaving the club at the end of the season, has no future. So let's see Jake O'Brien in that partnership with Jared Brantwaite. Obviously, in terms of physical size, centre-back is more his natural role. He's played now over 10 games in the Premier League, so he understands the game, understands the pace of it, and he's played plenty of games. In France at centre-back, played against top players while he was over there as well. So let's see what happens. Him and Brantwaite are obviously young, but there is experience in there, and for Brantwaite, he has to step up and be the leader now. He has to be the leader of that back four, which that's an interesting one as well for him as a footballer. Now, Toffee has led for the last few years at Everton, being the captain. Jared Brantwaite has to take that role up now and be the leader in that back four. Can he do that? Can he step up and be that leader? So that's a big responsibility for him as well. And that we'll see the other side of him. You know, he's obviously linked with big moves and stuff, but as a footballer, can he become that leader of the back line? That's a huge thing for him as well. So I'd like to see that back four play together for the rest of the season, and let's see where it takes us. A lot of youth in there. It's a little bit different, and as I said, we're losing that leader, but we'll have to do it. It's centre midfield. James Garner and Idrissa Gana Gueye will start the game for me. A lot of responsibility on Idrissa Gana Gueye to go and hunt that ball. Obviously been fantastic this season. The tackling, I think he's still highest in Europe for tackling. Coming to the end of his contract, we're all hoping that he signs a new one. There's been a few rumblings that Saudi teams might come in for him, but let's hope that he wants to play in the Premier League, and David Moyes has put enough faith in him that, you know, a contract on the table for him is one that will keep him at Everton next season. And James Garner, I think, has got a lot to prove in the coming weeks for me as well. David Moyes will be looking for a centre midfielder for next season who, you know, is strong, pacey, can get round the pitch. James Garner's a nice, tidy little footballer, but I think he's got a lot of work to do to impress this manager, to show that he's capable of staying in the Everton team. So big few games for him as well. And ahead of them, I'm going for Abdoulaye Doucouré. For me, still question marks whether he's going to stay, but I think in the midfield you need that level of experience, and I think he can drop in and make it a 3. There might have been called for Charlie Alcaraz. I just think that maybe next week that's when we start playing Charlie Alcaraz and give him a little run of games towards the end of the season. For me, I think Doucouré, we still need that experience of Doucouré pushing up alongside the centre forward and helping them if we need to go long or we need to get out of our back line. He helps, obviously, the centre forward. Energy all day, good on, helps us out on set pieces. Not everyone's cup of tea, I understand that, but for me, start this game. On the right hand side, I'm going to go with Jack Harrison. I think he's done okay in the last couple of games. Listen, he's still not massively productive attacking wise, but be a different proposition with him playing with Nathan Patterson. Obviously, Nathan Patterson will look to get up the field and get high up, put crosses into the box. So it'll be a little bit different, and maybe that might suit Jack playing like that. So he's done all right, as I said, the last couple. And honestly, there's no one else who can play there. Let's be honest, there's no one really else who can play there at this moment. On the left hand side, and Jai. Last week, I wasn't really that impressed with him last week. But, another week of training, another week of building up the fitness. He is that one player you look at to give the ball, who likes having the ball, who will take on the opposition, create opportunities, win us some fouls. And we know how talented he is. Know how talented he is at keeping the ball as well. So hopefully he can be the creative spark for Everton to get something in this game. And up front, I'm going for Beto. Obviously, Brozier can't start. I wouldn't have started him anyway, even if he could start. So Beto for me, Chimiti back on the bench, and hopefully Beto can get back to scoring some goals, causing some chaos. I thought that was missed last week against Manchester City. I really did. I thought he should have started the game. I think Manchester City last week, and I imagine Chelsea this week, playing with high lines that Beto can get behind if you play the right ball. So that's who I'm going for. Hopefully we do get to see Chimiti coming off the bench. He's, we've not seen much of him in the last few weeks. He's someone Evertonians, I think, want to see a little bit more of. And let's see what happens. Opportunity for players to show the manager, who will be looking for top talent to come into this squad in the summer. David Moyes believes what he says. He wants to take this Everton team back to where he thinks we belong, which is fighting for those European places, fighting for Champions League places. That means it's not just a case of some of these players who are on the fringes trying to get into the team. It's about them trying to stay in the squad for next season, and players who are in the team staying in the squad, because the manager is looking at a complete reset for next season and pushing Everton on. And he'll be looking at our owners going, okay, do you really believe what you're saying? It's all right saying, oh look, we've got a new billionaire, we've got another new fella investing in us, show me the cash, drive Everton forward. I want serious players this summer to take Everton forward. So all those players have got to start proving themselves in the next 5 games and push Everton on to some wins. And what a great place to start that at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check out the match preview with Baz and myself. If you want more great videos, join us over on Toffee TV Premier. The link in the description. QR code to on screen now. See you later.